Hello and welcome back, Squirrel Nation. I hope you're all having an amazing day. Today we are diving into our second coaching video, and Relic, our fellow squirrel, will be the person being coached. As always, we will start by looking at the end screen because that is the first indicator of where there were issues. And I think in this case, from the end screen, you can tell that Relic had the third highest total gold in the game, which to me means he should have went out third place, but he ended up going out fourth place. So normally what that points to is an inefficiency in the way a player is using their gold. So in this case, for instance, he has 4 hunters, Tide Stalker, Siren, E-Ranger, and Wind Ranger, and you'll notice he has 2 Wind Rangers. Another thing about this and why that matters is because he doesn't hit the 6 Hunter synergy, and also having a duplicate Wind Ranger means that he's not adding in another synergy. For instance, he has a Soul Reaper, so he could have something like a Poison Worm that would add in the Warlock synergy, which would help his team comp kind of round out more. But anyways, that's we won't know till we watch this, so let's dive into the gameplay and see if we are right. Round 1, Relic decides to go with E-Ranger after looking that there was already a Tusker grabbed and a God of War, so I totally go with that. Round 2, he picks up a pair of Taboo Witchers. Once again, not really questionable at all. I think that's the clear play. Round 3, grabs a 2-star Taboo Witcher, so that's a great start, and then he opts to buy the Skull Hunter instead of the Phantom Queen. Skull Hunter makes sense since he already has 1 Marksman, so he's going for 3x Marksman, or Hunters, sorry, early game, so that also makes sense. Round 3, grabs a Werewolf, and then waits to use his Victory Gold to buy a pair of Skybreakers. I like this play also. Otherwise, he would have had to sell his E-Ranger to have the 2 gold to buy the 2 Skybreakers, and by waiting for the Victory Gold, he is able to get the Skybreakers and keep the E-Ranger, so he's still open with the option to use triple Hunter, and then he gets his items onto his Skull Hunter, which I like because Skull Hunter is probably not going to stick around no matter what comp he goes, but by putting the items on Skull Hunter, he does introduce that power into his lineup. Round 5, Relic grabs a second Skull Hunter and then also picks up a pair of Defector. I think that's a good play. Early game, you're always trying to focus on pairs, and it also doesn't prevent him from hitting 10 gold or any interest like that. And he also spends down his gold to pick up the Soulbreaker. I think that is also a good habit. Early game, it's all about getting cheap 2 stars, especially high quality units, and he sets himself up to do that very well. Round 6, he grabs a 2-star Skull Hunter, so that's great, and then he also grabs a Tusker for the Warrior, or for the Beast synergy with the Werewolf. Really good start. He opts to sell the Defector so that he can level to 5, which I also like because he is on a 2-game win streak right now, so he won round 4 and round 5, and then now he's just going to give himself the best chance possible to win this round as well. He does opt to put in the Soulbreaker, which I also think is the good play. The only other option to me would have been the Skybreaker. I definitely would not put in a 1-star E-Ranger. He starts round 7 by checking what the enemies are running. He notices Knights, Hunters, and Warriors, which I really like that he's checking that. He does opt to buy a Swordsman to give himself the 3 Warrior synergy. I also like that. The only thing in this round I disagree with is if I was him, I would have picked up the Shadow Devil, because the Shadow Devil, when people are running those other warrior comps, he is going to help him a lot because he has the Demon synergy to really help deal with tanks, and then also introduces that AoE magic damage, and it sets him up for getting the Warlock synergy right away. So if he gets a Desperate Doctor or he gets a Poison Worm, he could have that Warlock synergy right there within his grasp. So that is something different I would do. Instead, he opts to pick up, I believe it's the Taboo Witcher and Red Axe Chief. I don't think they're terrible things, but at the same time, I'm not a fan of picking up the 1 cost to try to go to 3-star, and he already has the 2-star Taboo Witcher, so that's just simple, a little disagreement. Round 8's quite important. He grabs a 2-star Skybreaker, which is awesome. He also hits his 3rd Hunter in the Wind Ranger, and then he's kind of experimenting, deciding what to put in and take out, and I do agree he ends up going with the 3 Hunters, Taboo Witcher, which is 2-star, and also the 2-star Skybreaker for his tanks. So he loses the 3 Warrior synergy, but gains the 3 Marksmen, and he gets all of his 2 stars on the board, so I think it was a good decision. Round 9, spends gold to level to 6, which I agree. He is on a win streak, so he definitely wants to try to hold on to that. The things I disagree with are he doesn't pick up an Abyssal Guard. The reason that matters is if he's going 3 Hunter, he knows he's going to mix in a Siren, and it would be really nice to have that Marine synergy to deal with the Mage comps that I'm sure will be around. Another thing, this is a disagreement is he has a really nice start to go Warriors. He also has a nice start to go Hunters, but if I was in his position, I would bias towards the Warrior, Beast, Warlock type of meta because we know that that's currently the powerful meta, and Hunters are okay, but they're not they're not like what I would consider a tier 1 meta comp, so if I have the choice between both, I would bias towards the Warrior. Round 10, the Golems, he opts to buy nothing and does positioning. Relic, I would say you're kind of overly positioning stuff. Like you're moving things when you don't need to win. You don't need to reposition for the golems. You are going to beat them anyways, and then you're just splitting your focus. Like you could be spending your focus planning out your team comp. You could be scouting your enemies, but instead you're like positioning stuff around the board. So that's something I kind of disagree with. It's just a waste of time. So first, you'll notice he, like we talked about, he's going to have to reposition this round also, so he's wasting time for a second time because he decided to reposition for the golems. The second thing is you'll notice he gets a Siren, and he's also offered an Abyssal Guard, again, where he could pick up that Marine synergy into his comp. Another thing is, if you notice, he also hits a Poison Worm, which, if he would have been picking up these Warlocks, he could have had a Warlock synergy. He could have even had 4 Beast he was offered Lord of Sand 2 rounds ago, he was offered Poison Worm, he already had a Unicorn, he has Tusker, he has Werewolf. This just comes down to I really feel like he's sitting too heavily on Hunters, and he really doesn't have anything super great for Hunters. I mean, his only 2-star Hunter is his Skull Hunter, so I think what happened is he got a 2-star Skull Hunter, and in his mind it was like set that he's going to go Hunters, and he just refuses to pivot away from it. So I think that part is, so far as what I'm seeing, is the biggest weakness in this gameplay. In round 12, I think there's an economic decision that's poor, is he could sell the Skull Hunter and E-Ranger that are on his bench and get to 30 gold. Instead, he decides to buy a Argali Knight, which I don't really understand. It doesn't go anything into his comp. I don't even know what he's trying to branch towards putting in an Argali Knight. And then in place of the Argali Knight, he's benching a Werewolf, which is a key component of a Hunter comp, and it's also 3 cost. So I don't know. He's just kind of messing up his economy and putting something that doesn't really fit into his endgame comp and taking something out that does fit in his endgame comp. So it's just a little strange. Round 13, I think Relic realizes exactly what I mentioned in the last round, so he ends up selling his Argali Knight. He puts in his back in his Werewolf, and yeah, so he just basically eliminates what he did last round. Yeah. Round 14, a little weird. He decides to spend 15 gold to level to 7. In this case, he wasn't win streaking. I would have just saved up his economy to get level. His health is also in 3rd place. And if you notice, he gets level 7, and yes, the other top people got level 7, but to me, he doesn't really need it because he's not win streaking, and this would be a good chance for him to get ahead in economy. So, yeah, that's a minor thing, but I'm okay with it. He also does get in his Tusker for that beast synergy, so that's nice. So, round 15, the saddest part is Relic did spend the gold to level to 7, and then he actually lost the last round. So he spent gold, ended up losing anyways, so now his economy is behind where it could be, and then also he lost. I mean, those are just rough choices. He's repositioning for the Wolves, which is good. He got his 2-star Tusker, which is really nice, and he also picked up a 2nd Werewolf, so that's another really nice thing for him. Okay, round 16, he gets really lucky. He's offered a Pirate Captain and a Razor Claw, so he picks up both of them. That part I agree with. He sells his 2-star Skybreaker. This part I disagree with because he's not at the point where his team is full of 2-stars. He went from 4 2-stars, now he only has 3 2-stars, and he picks up the Razor Claw, but he doesn't even put Razor Claw in the game. Something I really like to point out this round is, I mentioned it earlier in the video, I think he should have went more towards a Warrior, Beast, Warlock type of composition instead of going Hunter, and you can see again in this round, he would have done so well if he would have went towards Warriors, like heavy melee units with Beast and Warlock synergies instead of these Marksmen. he still only has a 2-star Skull Hunter and nothing else at 2 stars in terms of his hunters. So I just think he really got too stuck on that one build. Round 17, he's not offered anything of interest, and he is just shy of 50 gold, so he's just waiting. I hope that he plans to just get to level 8 in the next 3 rounds, so by level 21, hopefully he hits 8, and then he has a nice economy to reroll. Something I want to mention about the marksman between the warrior and the marksman. Hunters, I keep using the word marksman. Hunters are really not a great come-from-behind synergy. For me, hunters are something that are nice if you're front running and you're on like a nice win streak and you can keep getting up to level 8 and level 9 before everybody else. But if you're in his position and you're starting to get wrecked by people and you're middling, you're not getting a lose streak, you're not getting a win streak, hunters are really not a composition I would stay on unless the game is force-feeding me hunters, and the game is not force-feeding him hunters. Round 18, he opts to pick up a Warpwood Sage. I think he does that so that he can get a 2-star Lone Druid, so that part is understandable. He forgoes a Storm Shaman, which to me is not a great idea since there is a mage team in the game, and then there's also some 6 warriors. And the Storm Shaman is really good DPS against 6 warriors who are going to have a ton of armor, and it's really good crowd control silences against that mage team so they don't stomp on him. So I think it was a mistake not to pick up the Storm Shaman. Round 19, he's offered a second Siren and second Pirate Captain, picks him up, spends gold to start experiencing. He is going to target round 8 by 21, it looks like, so I think that's straightforward. Good calls. 20, he buys more experience, so he guaranteed will hit level 8 next round, so that's awesome. He grabs a Tusker. I mean, that's okay. It doesn't hurt his economy. In general, I really wouldn't hold I wouldn't hold one cost to take to 3 stars unless you have more of them by this point in the game. So he has 1 singular E-Ranger, 1 Tusker. He's about to go to level 8, so his probability of getting any more 1 cost is going to be very low, and he still needs 5 of each, so I just wouldn't hold on to them in general. Round 21, Relic does decide to hit level 8, which is awesome. He also pulls back his formation into the corner, which I think is much better for marksmen since they have that really long range, so that's also a good call. And then finally he gets a 2-star Pirate Captain and places in his Lone Druid, so very good round. Round 22 is a very telling round for me because Relic grabs an Evil Knight, which doesn't fit in his comp at all. You put Evil Knight with Hunters because you have the E-Ranger in and you get the Agaris synergy, but in this case he's not even using the E-Ranger, so he's putting an Evil Knight, which gives him 0 synergies, and just putting it into the game. Evil Knight is not the type of unit that's just so good you put into the game. Remember, for instance, he passed a Storm Shaman earlier in the game, and like it's filling the place of something like a Storm Shaman, or just an individually strong unit, and he also took out a Lone Druid to put it in. So that's probably the biggest misplay he's made so far in this game. Round 23, he's still 3rd in health, but he did lose last round, unsurprisingly to me, because he did make that strange call to put Evil Knight in. This round, he actually hits a Tsunami Stalker, and he's definitely looking for ways to put that in, and I just don't know what to say. He ends up taking out a Siren and leaving in the Evil Knight. I think the reason he put in the Evil Knight is Evil Knight, if you look at pre-designed builds that people share, like I make infographics sharing meta builds, you'll see Evil Knight thrown into Hunter builds, so I think that's why he's doing it. But at the same time, I think this can become a cautionary tale to everybody watching this. Don't just blindly follow those builds. Try to really understand how the synergies are working and why a hero is put into the build, because here he's just using an Evil Knight that, once again, he keeps sacrificing more and more value just to keep this Evil Knight in the game. Round 24, this is the last time I'm going to mention anything about the Evil Knight, but it has cost him 1/3 of his health. So he went from 64 health 2 rounds ago to now 42, and the even more important thing is that puts him outside of the top 3 in terms of health pool, so he has been punished for that. Luckily, he does reroll at level 8, which I do agree with. He hits a 2-star Siren. He does put the Siren back in the game, but he ends up selling a 2-star Taboo Witcher instead of just benching the Evil Knight. Round 25, he rerolls. He hits a 2-star E-Ranger, so finally he gets E-Ranger in. He takes out the Wind Ranger, and now the Evil Knight pays off because he has the Agaris debuff, but it took so long to get there. He ends up selling a 2-star Skull Hunter to put in a 1-star Wind Ranger. Oh, okay, thankfully he rerolls and hits a 2-star Wind Ranger. Very thankfully. That could have looked very bad. He sold a 2-star Skull Hunter, but now he has one sitting on his bench. He does sell that. Okay, that's good. And the last thing I want to mention is notice his health pool has taken a major hit. He is all the way down to 24 HP. So just 3 rounds ago, he was at 64. So his health has been severely chunked down because of a few suboptimal hero choices. Round 26, Relic needs to start rerolling. He's been just taking too much damage. He needs to power up. Luckily, he hits a Orb of Refreshing. He gets it on his 2-star Siren, so that's awesome. Something about the positioning of the Siren is really not good, though, and that's the fact that he's putting his Siren in the front row. A Siren with no items you can put in the front row so it recharges mana. A Siren with an Orb of Refreshing, put that sucker in a safe place and let it ultimate the enemy. He is so lucky in this match that the enemy doesn't get a human silence onto his Siren. Just imagine if the enemies silence him, and look, the Siren has 2 people on it, and it's very lucky that those are not humans, because otherwise they may have killed the Siren with an Orb of Refreshing. It would have never even got 1 ultimate, let alone 2 ultimates off because of putting it in the front. So just keep in mind, when you're running certain heroes, there's a difference between the position when they have an item and the position when they don't have an item. Otherwise, he does reroll. He grabs a 2-star Trent Protector, I guess. I don't really know why, but, you know, I guess at this point he's kind of panicking and wants quality. Round 27, at this point I'm just seeing the signs of panic. You all have seen this in some of my games too. When you get flustered, you start to make mistakes. Last round he combined to make a 2-star Trent Protector. This round he just sells it, so he just lost gold doing that, and then he picks up another Trent Protector. So it's those type of things that are showing me the frazzle. The other thing is he's holding 2 Wind Rangers on his bench. He already has a 2-star Wind Ranger. A 3-cost 3-star is not what you should be targeting when you are about to die in a game, and instead he could use that gold to go to level 9 and get in an extra hero. He could use that gold to reroll and upgrade heroes on the board. He still doesn't even have everything on the board to 2-star. So these are just some economic decisions that are definitely contributing to him losing this game. Round 28, I think Relic realizes how serious the situation is. He's now down to 7 HP, so he does reroll aggressively. He switches out the Evil Knight with a Soul Reaper, which is a good call. He gets a 2-star Werewolf. He's rerolling. He should just really be aggressively going. He gets his Tusker up. He's trying to get that E-Ranger, so now he has a 2-star on the bench plus 1 extra. Still something I disagree with. I think that's a lot of gold that he could be re-rolling for like a Lone Druid, or he could be re-rolling for the Soul Reaper, which are still 1-stars he has on the board. But anyways, I do like the fact that he recognizes he had to aggressively re-roll. I honestly would have liked to see him re-roll even harder just to ensure that he makes it through in this game, because right now he's fighting for the difference between 5th place and, 3rd or 2nd place. Round 29, his aggressive spending did keep him alive. I like it. He uses his economy to go to level 9, and he still has some gold to reroll, which is good. He hits another Wind Ranger, so he's actually only 1 away from a 3-star. He's rerolling aggressively. He gets a 2nd Soul Reaper. I hope he just keeps aggressively rolling. He does hit a 3-star Tusker, so that's really good for him. Round 30 is a minion round. He is rolling down. I'm fine with that I know you could technically save gold on minion rounds, but I'm fine with this just to keep his focus. Something I will note is he only needs 1 more Wind Ranger, 1 more Soul Reaper, and 1 more Lone Druid, and he's holding all 3 Druids. If I'm him here, I sell the Wisp Seer, I sell the Trent Protector, so that I have that extra gold to play with and hopefully hit one of my units that is 1 away from being upgraded, because honestly, he's holding all 3 of the Druids because he wants to get Lone Druid to 3-star, but he hasn't even got to 2-star yet. Round 31, you're going to see where that Druid thing comes in, actually, is he hits a Soul Reaper. He needs 1 extra gold to get that 2-star Soul Reaper. Is he going to sell some of these extra Druids? I really, really hope so. Waiting. Okay, cool. He sells the Wisp Seer, and he grabs the Soul Reaper. That was a misplay. He actually had 2 unicorns that were not combound. He could have sold 1 of them, had 4 gold, bought the Soul Reaper, and still kept all 3 of his Druids. So that was a misplay. Round 32, unfortunately, this is the last round. He goes out 4th place, but I do like the fact that he YOLO rolls. To be honest, I would have went even harder about the YOLO rolling, and I would have done that by selling my Trent Protector. He only needed the Unicorn to make a 2-star Lone Druid, and I would have just aggressively re-rolled to try to hit my Wind Ranger, try to hit my Lone Druid, and yeah, that's really in this round. I think that's the only mistake there was. At this point, it was just too late. But I think he ended up doing an okay job of holding on and keeping 4th place. So, well played, good game, Relic, and that that does do it for today's video. I hope you all enjoyed, and I will see you all tomorrow. Take care.